Welcome back to the 5% Club. I'm Shayla King, a former C-suite executive turned business and life coach. And this is the podcast for leaders who want it all. The promotions, the paychecks, and luxurious amounts of time for the things that matter most. Each week, I'm going to teach you from my performance and happiness formula what it takes to rise to the top without burnout and overwhelm. Work less, make more, and design a life you love. That's what we do in the 5% Club. Let's go. Welcome back to the 5% Club. I'm Shayla King, your favorite performance and happiness coach for executive moms. And today we are talking about how to make your life easier. I recorded this episode for May-Cember back in the beginning of May last year. And when I re-listened to it this year, I knew I had to send it out as a bonus replay because it's so applicable for how to make our lives easier all year long. So before we dive in, I just want to mention to you the Performance and Happiness Lab enrollment is open right now, but it closes on Wednesday. So if you've been on the fence, let me tell you why you want to enroll before that deadline. First of all, you're going to get access all summer long. You're going to get all 12 modules that you can watch on vacation, on a road trip, or on a Saturday morning with your coffee at your ease before you ever join the cohort in the fall. So we start September 14th live together. Second, you're going to get a one-on-one session with me. We'll zoom out on your career, your life, and decide exactly where you want to go. It's a really cool opportunity to have a chief people officer strategize your career and your life. Truly priceless. And third, it's a 6-month payment plan. So first time we've ever offered this, it's only for the pre-enrollment that ends tomorrow. So go to shaylaking.com/phlab so that you can sign up now and get all 3 of those benefits. Now, the women who have already joined for the fall are extraordinary. We've got attorneys and HR leaders. We've got healthcare executives, Fortune 50 VPs. This room is going to be fire. But it's interesting. On the decision calls that I'm getting, every woman, regardless of the level, is asking me the same question. But do I belong? So I just want to take a moment to address it with you. There are typically 2 women who join the Performance and Happiness Lab. First, maybe you're already in the executive role and you want to make your life lighter. You want to drop the imposter syndrome, keep performing and getting paid more and promoted more without it costing you everything. You, my friend, are exactly right for the room. Or maybe you're not in the role yet, but you want to be ready for the promotion, ready for the pay. You want to build the skills now so that when you get there, you thrive. Executive presence, executive networking, and the rituals and mindset to perform at that level will actually loving your whole damn life. Because that's what the 5% is. Anyone can be successful. We're doing it while loving our whole life. And that's what you build in the lab. And I want to be clear about what kind of program this is. These are advanced concepts. This is not how to hold a team meeting or how to have a performance conversation. There's so much content out there for first level managers and basic leadership skills. This is not that. This is how you get out of middle management and into executive ranks. How you lead at the highest level without burning out. How you build the network, the skills, the mindset, and the life that makes it all look effortless. That gives you real optionality. If that's the conversation you're looking for, this is the best room a woman in corporate can be in. The only real question is whether you're ready to take yourself seriously and your dreams seriously. Every woman who's already enrolled has decided she was worth it. And if you're ready to make that leap, even if it's scary, then go to shaylaking.com/phlab and join us by Wednesday at midnight. That's when doors closed. All right, it's going to be an extraordinary group. Okay, let's get into today's episode. Now, everything we're going to talk about today is an invitation, not a judgment. I need you to hear that. It's not about making you feel ashamed of how you are currently running your life. I just want to invite you to get curious. Am I happy with the role I'm currently playing? Are there any places where life could feel a little lighter? There's not one way to do this whole working mom thing. You get to design your life however you want. The whole point is that you are intentionally deciding what you want, not just defaulting to what everyone else expects out of you. That, my friends, is the work. When I first started saying this to women, that you actually don't have to do anything, there was a reaction. Yeah, sure, must be nice. Yeah, I mean, it's nice of you to say in your situation, but mine is different. I hear you. I felt the same way for a long time. And I didn't overhaul my life overnight. I learned it one piece at a time. I took a little bit more ownership here, made one different choice there, stopped doing this other thing. And slowly I started to realize, oh my God, it's true. I actually don't have to do anything. I'm not telling you to stop caring about the people that you love. This is what I think is so funny is people say, what? You have to do things for other people. You can't just be selfish. I'm like, no, I'm telling you to do what you want. And what you want, I'm sure, is to be somebody that people can count on, to be somebody that invests in your kids and has an extraordinary relationship with them. I'm asking you to do what you want. And what you want is good. You have your own set of values, you have your own beliefs, you have the things that are important to you. And so we have to spend time uncovering, what do I actually want? What is that? Because you're a good person and you care about people. So you're not going to stop showing up for the ones that you love, but you'll start to do it on your own terms. It's powerful, my friends. You'll do it on your own terms, at your own pace, with zero guilt. And God, it is freeing. It changed my whole life. So as you listen today, I want you to keep one question in the back of your mind. Where could I say no a little more often? Where could I make things a little less complicated? Where could I let someone else step up so I can show my kids what is actually possible when a woman prioritizes her health and her happiness? That is the 5% life. Performance and happiness. Not one or the other, both. Everything I do is to help executives perform at the highest level while loving their whole damn life. And today is your invitation, working moms. Let's make life a little easier. Let's get into it. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the 5% Club. I'm Shayla King, your favorite performance and happiness coach. And today I want to talk to you about something that every high performing parent deals with. It's busy seasons, AKA right now we are going through May-Cember. If you haven't heard that term before, it's because May seems to be as busy for parents as December with everything going on. So it feels like everything's on fire and you're the only one with a hose. I'm going to share today practical tips with you. But before we jump into logistics, I just want to talk about the mindset behind it and something personal. So I know that when I get too busy, I become a grouch. Last minute requests and schedule changes, they piss me off, right? I get resentful, I start snapping, and I feel like I've lost control. But part of living the 5% king mindset means remembering this. Even in the chaos, I have ownership. I make the decisions. I am not at the mercy of my calendar, right? And so I get to design my life even in a busy season. When I remember my values, and listen, efficiency is one of my top values. So it's okay that I want things to be efficient, but also kindness is. And I know that when I get too busy, it pulls me out of kindness, and I want to be an inspiration. And a huge part for me of being an inspiration is not about doing everything for my kids, but about showing them a kind of life that is filled with fun and desire and passion and growth and building a business that I absolutely love and having time to be with my children when I'm in a good mood. It's really, really important to me that I role model what an amazing, extraordinary life looks like so they know that they deserve it and can have it too. And that means I don't, how do you say it, like burn at both ends. Ever since I was pregnant, I cannot remember any of those cliche sayings. I'm always like, throw it as far as, or it's as long as, I don't know, burn the midnight oil and something from both ends. I don't know, but you know where I'm going with this. And like, I know so many other parents feel it too. I was at a soccer game last night and all the parents are just talking to each other. I overheard 4 different conversations, and it's women and men just talking about how
I'm just so busy. It's just one kid event after another kid event. Yeah, I haven't been going to the gym. I know I used to see you there, but between work and kids and drop offs, it's just, it is what it is. But I actually see it a little bit different. So if you don't know, we have 5 kids. My husband's had 3 and I had 2, and we're blended working on a little Brady Bunch. And so in our household now, we have 3 that are still in school. So 1 in middle school and 2 in high school. And only 1 driver out of the 3 so far. So I know what it's like to have a lot of things going on. Here's the sports that we've been in. We've been in football, we've been in rugby, we have been in cross country, we have been in basketball, we've been in cheer, we have been in, I'm forgetting, track and soccer and competitive dance, right? So the agenda is full. The kids have a lot going on. And so I understand and feel the pull. But I have made the intentional decision that I'm not going to be the hot mess mom anymore. I used to be that way. I was always running late. I joke it was like, Kramer running in the room at the last second. And I just always felt like my hair was on fire. See, I'm getting some cliche sayings, right? And it was picking up fast food and we were dropping stuff in the car. And it was just chaotic. And I have realized through coaching and mindset work that I'm actually in control. And what I'm not changing, I'm choosing. What I'm not changing, I'm choosing. So I decided to change a whole bunch and redesign my life so that I don't show up as that grouchy mom, so that I don't feel resentful because I did everything for you and you always want me to do this and that. And I'm a full-time Uber driver for you and I'm stretched too thin and I'm pissed off at you, right? I have instead taken back my control and decided that I'm going to do the things that I want to do and that I'm not going to do the things that make me feel too much pressure. I'm not going to do the things that when I add them in, it causes chaos. And I learned that my default turning to a no instead of a yes has given me so much freedom. So when other parents are having that conversation and saying, it is what it is, I'm here to tell you very kindly, it doesn't have to be. The 5%ers do it differently. We remember that we are in charge. We remember what our values are and that it's easier to say no so we can live our values. And again, mine are efficiency, kindness, being an inspiration. And it reminds me that I can say no, that I should be proactive so I can create luxurious amounts of time for the things that matter most. Now, this is the hardest during a busy season. So that's why I'm doing this podcast episode today. So we can talk about some practical tips that you can use to make it a little bit easier when we're in the middle of May-Cember or another busy time like back to school or actually December, right? So let's go through what it looks like. So I mentioned we have a senior this year. And I want to take a second to release some of the pressure I know a lot of parents, especially moms, are feeling right now. You can do whatever you want for your senior. You don't have to do it all. You don't need senior pictures if your kid doesn't want them, a class ring, a bed party. You know what bed parties are? It's like a new thing now where you announce what college they're going to by fully decking out their bedroom with all of the gear. It's pretty cute. It's not necessary at all, right? Or a Pinterest worthy grad party, with like certain shaped foods and cute little signs and monogrammed toothpicks and a perfectly cleaned house and a guest list of 75 to make sure that you don't miss anyone with handcrafted invitations sent out 6 weeks in advance. Listen, if one of those items on there makes you really freaking happy and you want to do it, go for it. I'm here to tell you, though, you don't have to do any of it. Just do what makes sense for you and your senior. So do it your way and think about what your kid will find meaningful, what you will enjoy, and forget the rest. So here's our plan. Our senior is a boy, Evan. He did not want pictures. We did buy him some gear for his college. Go Baylor Bears. We're really excited that he just finalized his college choice and will be staying nearby in Texas at Baylor. And so we're going to throw a simple grad party with his mom, grandparents, his girlfriends, and a cookie cake that we're going to pick up from HEB on the day of. I'm going to vacuum. The other kids will hang a few Amazon decorations we got, and that's the party, right? No invitations. We'll decide on the time and text it and agree. No special food. We're just grabbing that cookie cake. It's going to be simple, but it's exactly what he wants. And we're still going to get the same memories out of it. We're going to know that we celebrated him. We're going to get the pictures. We're going to have the memories. And of course, we're going to go cheer him on at the graduation. And we'll probably have another dessert that night. And that's it. Low stress, thoughtful, meaningful. That's the memory we're making. Now, let's talk about what to actually do when your calendar is chaos. One of the best tools I teach and use myself is to divide your day into thirds: morning, afternoon, evening. And then I want you to just choose one thing for each part of your day. Maybe that's a client meeting in the morning, a performance in the afternoon, and a soccer game in the evening. You can handle 3 things, right? You're capable. And if you get bonus time in between, great. But if not, you already did what matters. And that's how you stop feeling like you're failing all day long or running from the next thing to the next. You're giving yourself luxurious space for the things that matter most: one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening. All right. Now let's talk about some tips. First, let's talk about your kids. Most likely, they can do more. I'll share with you a little bit about how we run things in my house. So, my kids have a shared Gmail calendar that I set up for them. I have access to it. Their dad has access to it. So we can all see the calendar at all times. They are responsible for adding their own events. Every practice, game, workshop, school thing, even going over to hang out with a friend and have a sleepover. Then they send me a calendar invite for the exact times I need to drive. If they're working 10 to 2, I get 2 calendar blocks, one from 9:45 to 10:15 and one from 1:45 to 2:15. We're not going to do the whole, "Mom, I told you, don't you remember?" Right? So if it's not in the calendar, I don't go. If it's in the calendar, I make it work or we rearrange if I have something else going on, right? They're also in charge of their own uniforms, their own school forms, their own permission slips, costumes and supplies. And no, I don't wake them up. I don't get them ready for the day. I don't say, "Don't forget this, don't forget that." They are fully in charge of their own activities and their own items. And obviously, it's age specific and you parent however you want to parent. But I just want to put it out there that you could ask yourself if there's any way that they can take on any more responsibility. Now, when I think about this from my values perspective, I used to think that, is it being a lazy mom to do this? Are you like expecting your kids to do stuff because you haven't figured it all out yet and don't have the perfect master plan? I got over that. And here's how: I am not raising children, I am raising adults. I am raising people to leave our house and be great citizens of the world. People that know how to do their own dishes and their own laundry and wake themselves up in the morning and be a productive citizen, make their own appointments, fill out their own forms, do all of those things. And we can't expect that on their 18th birthday, all of a sudden they're capable in all of these areas. They should have that responsibility earlier so that they can demonstrate it, so that they can have you around if they have questions while they're trying things. And by the time they move out, it should be easy breezy, right? So when I'm giving them responsibility, A, they're part of a family, and there's a ton of psychology behind how it helps their self esteem when they have more chores and they have more activities, right? And so I am doing it to build a better human, not doing it because I'm lazy and can't figure shit out, right? And I think that is a really important way to have in the back of your mind when you're setting up new expectations for your kids. But I'm not gonna wake up a kid. My youngest is 13. She's woke herself up since she was, gosh, it feels like her whole life. I don't know. But she's definitely got herself ready, including making her own breakfast since she was 9. So every kid is different. So I'm not telling you to do what we do, but people always tell me that it's helpful to see an example of what other people are doing and to have some real conversation around it. So that's what we're doing. And the question for you would just be, is there an area that I can help empower my kid and teach them adult habits? Um, and it will help me. And not because you're being tough or not because it's just so much easier on you, but it's okay for it to help you become less overwhelmed. Because when we overextend ourselves, remember, we get grouchy and we don't like who we are when we're overextended, and your kids don't either. So let your kids rise and let yourself breathe. Another like random quick tip, I like picking out my outfits ahead of time. So I'll look at the schedule for the week and say, okay, I have to go to this or I'm choosing to go to this graduation party and I have this event out with my friends. So what am I going to wear for those two things? And then maybe your regular clothes you don't choose, or maybe you do. But especially if there's any kind of special event, picking those out ahead of time really helps with decision fatigue. So that's another quick tip. And then this is a planning tip. So a hack that saves me time every week is that Thursday night, you can have a family meeting. Everyone will bring their calendar. We'll sit down for 15 minutes and talk through the next week. Make sure that we have people giving rides to everybody, making sure if you're going to need, I just got this one. God, I love teachers, but let me tell you, every mom's going to relate to this. Again, let me start with saying, I love you, teachers. However, on Tuesday, my daughter gets an assignment to make blood at home. I'm not kidding. She's supposed to make fake blood, right? I was trying to figure out which class this is for. I was like, is this biology? It's for criminal justice, right? I'm sure it's fun, but you have to do it with a partner and it's due on Friday. So she had Wednesday night and Thursday night. She has dance Wednesday night and Thursday night, both nights. And we're supposed to figure this out with another kid. And of course, we don't have the ingredients, and my daughter doesn't drive yet. So thank you for being creative, teachers. If you could give us a weekend to go shopping for supplies and have time for projects like this, especially if they involve other people and schedules, that would be amazing. You know, the joke that's like, I needed to hire an assistant just to read all the messages from school. It really is. We're in the thick of it, y'all. We are in the thick of it. But I digress. So going back to this calendar thing, when you don't have same week activities, what you can do is you can create that shopping list and say, I'm going to need this for my game next week. Or like my one daughter who has really long days between practice before school and then games after school. She always brings extra food those days. So she wants a specific little salad and specific salami tray and whatever for those days. And so if we can put that stuff on the shopping list ahead of time, if we can say, I want to bring an end of the year gift to my teacher, then we can pick it up ahead of time. So being able to talk through what's needed and put it on the list so that we can go to the store on the weekend and get everything that we need for that following week, huge, right? And that is the difference between letting life happen to you and everything is scattered and last minute versus being proactive. We have I mean, I know you guys have all the same things, but it's the end of the year dance party and you got to bring this for that and you got to bring flowers to the teacher and you've got to bring a gift for this. And so just taking a few minutes for everyone to say, no, look at every single day of your week. What is happening? What might you need? And helping them walk through it to think of it because they're not, their frontal lobe's not fully developed yet. They're not practiced in this kind of stuff. So I don't expect them to be perfect. But being able to sit down and prompt them can help us remember, oh, yeah, and we have this gift exchange on the cheer team. So I have to bring a gift for my partner, whatever it is. And so aligning and taking the time to do that ahead of time, hugely helpful. Right. And then a block time for key events and projects. So, like, if we would have had a weekend to make the blood, we would have blocked on our schedule that from 2 to 4, she's going to make the blood for criminal justice class and make sure that that time works with her partner. Right. If she needs to make a handmade project for school or a gift for a teacher or whatever, we would put those blocks on our calendar as well to make sure we have them. And I always make Sunday nights. Nothing is going to happen from 6 to 10 on a Sunday night. All we're doing is slowly relaxing and getting ready for the week. So everything showers, But homework should be done before then, and laundry should be done before then. And then that can be kind of a slow, peaceful night. And in case anything came up last minute, you have time for it. But the idea is to let everyone decompress Sunday nights. So, Thursday night planning, 15 minutes aligning schedules, shopping lists, blocking times for key events and projects. It really helps and prevents those surprises because that's where those stressors come in, right? And having one list and not having to go back to the store a million times is really helpful. So, all right. How about food? Um, yeah, we do a lot of girl dinners. When things get really busy, it's girl dinners. If you don't know what a girl dinner is, it's a random ingredients on a plate. So you can take out any leftovers, you can take out crackers and fruit and cheese, a spoonful of peanut butter, whatever. But everyone makes their own plate of whatever looks good. I just set everything out on the counter, or they set everything out on the counter, and we call it a girl dinner. And there's no guilt, there's no planning, there's no dishes. It's not lazy, it's efficient. And sometimes that's just what we have to do, especially if we're eating at different times, depending on the activities. I do like to have family dinner, and we always do rosebud thorn during it, where you say one thing that you loved about your day, one thing that you hated about your day, and one thing you're looking forward to. And it's a great way for our family to connect. But it's not practical that's going to happen every night. And girl dinners are a great solution when everyone's coming in from practices and two practices at different times. All right, let's finish up with the final and most important truth. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to say yes to every school function. I don't volunteer to work the stands, like the concession stands. I don't do that. You send out emails. There's some guilt sometimes, but I don't do it. And I really want to say that I appreciate those who do. But because I run a business and have so many kids, I am not able to do concession stands and still be a happy, balanced parent. So I don't do concession stands. That's an example. I also don't attend every party. I don't attend most parties, to be quite honest. You get invited to a lot during graduation season, even if you don't have a senior. You don't have to go to all of them. My daughter has like an end of the year cheer party. I'm going to do a drop off and have my husband pick up. I'm not going to stay for those 2 hours. And it's not that they're not lovely women and that I not love to become friends with them, but this is the time of chaos and it's not the time to put pressure on yourself, right? So you're going to say, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And so for me, if I'm only going to have 2 hours in a week to do anything social, it's going to be with my closest friends, right? So we talk about, with my clients, I talk about the idea of a dartboard. In the center are your people that absolutely adore you are that middle red circle. It's usually 2 to 5 people, right? Then as we keep moving out on that dartboard, it's people that we still care about, but they're a little further out in the circle. We can't say yes to people that are on the periphery, cannot say that word, that are on the outside of it, right? We're going to save our yeses for the people that are closest to the center. And so I'm probably not going to stay at the party, right? My kids don't have to go to every party they're invited to either. And if it's not convenient for one of us to drive them, they don't go, right? And we don't have to go to every party. They don't have to go to every party. You don't have to volunteer for everything. And your kids don't either. So let them say no. Let you say no. Protect your peace. Preserve your energy. And remember at work that this is a busy time. You may need to block off more time to get out early, to make it to these things that matter most. You don't have to make it to everything, make it to the ones that matter most, right? So here's your evolve work for the week. I want you to choose one thing that you're going to say no to, and then choose one tip from this episode that you're going to implement. Maybe it's a girl dinner, maybe it's the calendar invites, maybe it's the planning sessions. Just pick one thing, own it, try it. And if you want to build a life where this kind of intention isn't just for survival seasons, but it's for every season, if you want to lead at work and home with clarity, confidence, and joy, then join the waitlist for the Performance and Happiness Lab. It's my signature program where I teach you everything you need to be successful and happy. We work on results, relationships, rituals, and the mindset behind all of these decisions. It's time tested, it's high impact, and it works. The link's in the show notes, or you can sign up for the waitlist at shaylaking.com, SHAYLAKING.com. Remember, moms and dads, we're in the thick of it right now, but you will get through this. And the more that you slow down and remember that you're in control, that you get to decide what you're going to do and what you're not going to do, and then the more you proactively plan and don't aim for perfection, the more fun you will have, the more peaceful this May-Cember will be. Till next time, let's evolve together. See ya, friends.
Thanks for joining me in the 5% Club today. If you're ready to make more, work less, and design a life you love, then go to shaylaking.com and join the waitlist. You'll be the first to know when there's openings to work with me in one-on-one coaching or the Performance and Happiness Lab, my group container where you will learn to be a high-performing, highly paid executive who loves your whole life. I'll see you there.